We return to the Red Bull ring for Mercedes to look at the front row of the grid. Both Red Bulls look strong around here, Daniel Ricciardo placing ahead of Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen behind the scarlet red Ferrari. Williams enjoyed a good qualifying session placing P6 and P7 ahead of Haas driver Romain Grosjean. Kevin Magnussen found his Renault in the top 10 shootout, just beating Kvyat out of Q2. Force India and McLaren had an average at best qualifying. Championship leader Kimi Raikkonen starts from 22nd after his crash with Nico Rosberg. He gained a 15-place grid penalty in the European Grand Prix. Time to start the Austrian Grand Prix.
What is up, guys? We are here back to the Formula 1 action here in Austria. I can see we are starting from last place due to that collision we had with Nico Rosberg. I think it's fair. It's going to make today's race a bit of a challenge, a bit more than usual, starting this far back on the grid. But nonetheless, we're going to have to claw through the field and see what happens ahead of us and hopefully make quite a lot of positions up. First time this season we have been starting from the back of the grid. We are got two Saubers ahead of us, followed by a Manor of Pascal Wehrlein. We're waiting for the lights. We can't even see the lights from this far back, but we are underway now. You can see we get off to an alright start. Ericsson gets an absolutely tragic start. He's going to be plumb last going into turn 1. We're going to have a look down the outside. We're just going to hold back, see what happens, and sure enough, someone loses their front wing and we collect it with ours. Jensen Button is without a front wing. He's actually doing pretty good. We're going to get past Ericsson. We're going to have the run on Pascal Wehrlein. There's Jensen Button, the man with no wing, and he's actually going to hold up Pascal Wehrlein, I think, just a tad. You can see the Sauber and the Haas getting a bit together, but Nazar is just going to come across the entire field. He's going to clip us a little bit. Luckily, we did not take any damage from that. We're going to squeeze out, I believe that's Pascal Wehrlein. So we're up behind Esteban Gutierrez. Rui Harianto here has lost his front wing at some point during the first corner incidents. We're going to take it down the inside, maybe look at Gutierrez. He's going to dive in. Alonso goes really wide, so does Gutierrez. So we're going to take the race in line, I guess, at this point. And we're just going to tuck up behind Felipe Nazar and just try and hold on to the position, and we have just been wrecked from behind. We're going to have a look on board here, and you can see Alonso in our rear mirror just absolutely annihilated us. So we'll see what else happened on lap 1. This is what happened up the front with Nico Rosberg and Lewis Hamilton. So Nico Rosberg is going to lunge down the inside of Lewis Hamilton, and he's going to push him off the track in a very Hamilton-esque move, I guess you could call that. So you can see what happened on board. He just dives him from around about the 100-meter board, and he's just going to squeeze him off the track, very similar to what Hamilton does to Rosberg, more or less on a daily basis, I would suppose. So I guess, you know, that's fair game, to be honest. So on lap 2 now, we now have Kevin Magnussen and Felipe Massa battling it out for I guess the back end of the points. Felipe Massa didn't have the greatest qualifying, so he's going to struggle this race. I guess, you know, the Williams don't really have that great of an attack round here, bar that one time. You know, they obviously got pole round here, but Williams too focused on a straight line. But Kevin Magnussen is possibly going to make light work of Felipe Massa as he actually touches the grass, which gives Kevin Magnussen a great run round his outside, and that is job done there for the Danish driver of Kevin Magnussen. So Felipe Massa just getting a bit square. Now we're on to lap 3, and we've got a Ferrari hunting down Lewis Hamilton, and that of course is Sebastian Vettel. He's going to switch to the inside. He's going to have a look. Lewis tries to hold the outside line, but Sebastian Vettel does just push his way through past that Mercedes. That is job done for Sebastian Vettel. Lap 4, we have some action between a McLaren and a Williams. It's not often you see that, but that's again Felipe Massa, who seems to be tumbling down the order. He must have some sort of issue because Jenson Button has just flown past him in a McLaren, which I think is slightly odd. But lap 6, we now have, I believe, Max Verstappen is now coming up to overtake Sebastian Vettel, and he's got the job done. So that will be Sebastian Vettel P4, I want to say, yeah. And with Kimi Räikkönen now back into the pits after the thing that happened with Nico Rosberg. So Kimi Räikkönen obviously isn't happy at all. Fernando Alonso will most likely get a grid penalty for that incident. So he'll be starting from the back of the grid, which I think's rather interesting as opposed to it being us this race. We're going to continue back on with the action. We now have Daniel Ricciardo in pursuit of the lead of this race. He is right behind Nico Rosberg, who is the race leader. So at the moment it goes Rosberg, Ricciardo, Verstappen, and hold on, make that Ricciardo, Rosberg, Verstappen, because Ricciardo has just absolutely slung it up Rosberg's inside and made that position. But back up to the action, a bit further down the grid, we've got Jenson Button now making a move on Jolyon Palmer, who's found himself quite high up in the points at the moment. So Jolyon Palmer, he could lose the battle of the Brits here to Jenson Button. Jenson Button for sure with more experience, and Palmer in his rookie season in Formula 1. Jenson Button's going to make the same move. A few other people, and there's Lewis Hamilton in the gravel as well. So Lewis Hamilton having all manner of problems this race. Lewis Hamilton just isn't there. We're now battling with Max Verstappen and Nico Rosberg. So Verstappen looking to make it a Red Bull 1-2 as they are coming up to a back marker of most likely Haryanto. Yes, it is Rio Haryanto for sure. How did I not know that? So yeah, Max Verstappen have a look around the outside of Nico Rosberg, and he's made the move stick. That was a fantastic overtake by the young Red Bull driver. So it's a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment. We're going to have a look a bit further down the grid again. We've now got Sergio Perez and Marcus Ericsson battling it out, and Perez is actually going to hold the outside line and push Ericsson back a little bit, but Ericsson has the wider line. He's going to go side by side with Sergio Perez. They bang wheels a little bit, neither of them giving an inch, and Marcus Ericsson does make that move on Sergio Perez. A fantastic overtake there by the drivers. Now looking back to Rio Haryanto and Felipe Nasr, and they're going to touch, and they're going to put each other both into the barrier. So we're going to have to see what happens on board. Let's just have a quick look and see what happens. Haryanto's fault all day, absolutely all day, every day. Rio Haryanto's fault. Moving on to lap 15, we now got, I believe that's Magnussen. Yes, it is, on Romain Grosjean. So Magnussen is cutting through the field. He's going to take the wide way round, going on the grass a little bit, but he's going to come back here at Romain Grosjean, I believe, and he has the inside line. He switched to the outside as Grosjean dives to the inside, but Magnussen's got the job done. Both Renault cars going very well round this Austrian circuit. Following lap though, we've got a very slow Romain Grosjean, so he's obviously got issues. We're going to have to see what is wrong with his car. He's actually stuck in neutral, so I feel like his car's either lost power or his gearbox is stuck. Where is in neutral? Who knows, maybe he's tried to reset it, but that's going to be the end of Romain Grosjean's race. Cutting on board now, we have Carlos Sainz on the final lap looking at Valtteri Bottas, as this is a move for midway in the points, back into the points, but nonetheless Carlos Sainz has made that move there on Valtteri Bottas. So Carlos Sainz has moved himself up a position. It's a fantastic job to him, but out in front you can see Daniel Ricciardo has taken the win here in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. It is a Red Bull 1-2 at this circuit.
Another dramatic race in the 2016 season. Red Bull took their first 1-2 of the season with Daniel Ricciardo leading Max Verstappen. Nico Rosberg struggled to maintain his place and come home to the third step of the podium. Sebastian Vettel finished ahead of Lewis Hamilton to round out the top 5. Carlos Sainz drove his Toro Rosso to 6th place, beating both Williams drivers. Jenson Button and Marcus Ericsson both get their first points for the season, rounding out the top 10. Kimi Räikkönen, who started from 22nd, got hit from behind by Fernando Alonso on the first lap and ended his race immediately. Next race we return to Great Britain for the Silverstone Grand Prix.
Moving on to the driver's stand, you can see our lead has now been cut down just to a lonely 10 points. Max Verstappen right up Nico Rosberg. So Max Verstappen has brought himself right into contention for this drivers' championship. Sebastian Vettel also brought himself, and Lewis Hamilton, you know, isn't that far off. I think he's around about 28 points behind, which isn't a lot. Say if I DNF, and Lewis wins, that's 25 points there. So it's looking very close. There's a potential 5 drivers that can win the championship. And saying that, Valtteri Bottas is there in 6th place on 86, so Bottas isn't too far behind. Sergio Perez and Hulkenberg going steady in 7th and 8th. Daniel Ricciardo making so much ground in the middle part of the season, which is good to see. Kevin Magnussen and Roman Grosjean rounding out the top 12. The constructors, on the other hand, decent little gap in the constructors. Red Bull past Force India and Williams now, so they're doing exactly what they want. I think they'll settle for 3rd place. There we go, got out eventually. Renault ahead of Toro Rosso and Haas. Not sure how long Toro Rosso will stay behind them. Manor still ahead of Sauber and McLaren at this stage. Bad race for us at the end of it, but fantastic job to Red Bull getting a 1-2 at their home circuit. Next race, guys, will be return to GP3 action yet again at the Silverstone Grand Prix, followed by GP2 and then of course the Formula 1. So we'll be taking the normal schedule for the European Grand Prix. And anyway, guys, until then, I hope you have a good time. See you next video.